It's almost universal, whether it's 2 wheels, 4 wheels, 18 wheels, no wheels. So many of us have a special memory involving a vehicle or a story about a car we've loved. Even if you can't tell a crankshaft from a drive shaft, I want to hear the story of the vehicle that moved you. I'm Blake Jackson, and this is Auto-Biography. This next guest on the Auto-Biography podcast is none, and I have to be honest here, he's my cousin, so he means an awful lot to me, and I've heard a lot of his stories. That's why I asked him on. He's a great storyteller. That's why he's an author. He is a published sci-fi fantasy author. He is a father, technical writer, and editor. Nathan Mutch, welcome to the podcast.
Glad to be here, Blake.
So, Nathan, tell us about the vehicle that moved you.
Well, I've had a lot of time to think about this since you first asked me to be on your show. Um, and at first, I was going to talk about this 1982 Ford LTD that my dad got back when we were living in Saskatchewan. He picked the thing up at a police auction for $500. The thing, the thing would not drive except in second and third. But we had another Ford car, a station wagon, and everything on that station wagon was bad except for the transmission. The transmission was totally fine and it fit. Um, yeah, the engine in that 82 LTD was the 5.8 liter 351M, and yeah, we just lucked out that we had the perfect transmission to match up with it. Now, that car was awesome. Learned a lot on that car.
Was that an actual police car?
It was, yeah, it was a ghost car.
If people aren't familiar with the term, what is a ghost car?
It's just an unmarked police cruiser.
Okay.
So by the time we got it, obviously at the police auction, they had stripped it down, so it didn't have any of the police modifications left, aside from what they would order from the Ford factory, the engine and, well, I guess the transmission that they completely destroyed. Yeah, I don't know what the story was on that, but I'm sure it was a good one.
Cops were out doing reverse lows or something like that.
I didn't want to talk about that car. I wanted to talk about the car that I had immediately after that,
Okay.
after I moved to Alberta. And I didn't bring that 82 LTD with me because, well, I was still pretty young, and insurance in Alberta is way more than it was in Saskatchewan.
Yep.
And insuring that car, specifically that car with that engine, it was going to be way too expensive. So instead of that, I got myself a compact pickup truck. It was a 1980 Dodge D50. And if you're having trouble picturing that car, it's the exact same thing as the Mitsubishi Mighty Max.
Going to pause for a second and tell you about the Dodge D50. Now, Chrysler had need of a compact truck, but being short on funds and engineers thanks to the K car, they took advantage of an existing relationship with Mitsubishi. Repurposed L200 Mitsubishi pickup trucks became the 1979 Dodge D50 and the Plymouth version called the Arrow. Powered by everything from a 2-liter 4-cylinder to a 3.7-liter V6, the scrappy little Mitsubishi-based truck lasted until a Dodge Ram redesign in 1987.
You know those little Mazda pickup trucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks almost exactly like that. It's that compact pickup, the Japanese style compact pickup. And Mitsubishi had done a partnership with Dodge, and in 1979 they came out with the Dodge D50,
Mm-hmm.
and the one that I got was the 1980. Has an inline four Mitsubishi engine, um, about 90 some odd horsepower, manual transmission. Um, Great little truck. And here's why I love that truck. That truck was it was like a member of the family, and not only that, but it was a member of my extended family. All of my friends loved that truck. Well, who doesn't love a guy with a pickup truck when you're young, right? Hey,
Yes.
can you help me move? Yeah, sure,
Uh-huh.
sure. Uh huh. So yeah, that truck was so beloved by my friends that they gave it a name. And I don't know where they got this name from. I'm sure they were uh, just joking around, but they called it Amos. Amos, yeah, it was this tiny little red pickup truck, and the thing, it was no slouch. It was definitely fast. It only had 90 horsepower, but the thing was so light,
Yeah.
and you know, just like a little rocket. The thing is a sardine can. It's just a tiny little tin can. Not much safety going on there. It's like a bare bones pickup truck. I don't think
Yeah.
it even no, it didn't even have a headliner in it. It was just bare metal. Um, no, that thing, I wasn't about to go crazy with that truck. But it was fast off the line. This pickup truck was, in my mind, uh, indestructible.
Hmm.
I was hit twice in this pickup truck. Both times I was at a standstill, and both times there was absolutely no damage done to the pickup truck. So the uh, the first time I was in a parking lot, I was starting to back out, and I noticed someone on the other side of the lane in the parking lot. He was backing out too. So I pulled back into my spot, put it in neutral, and just waited for him to be on his merry way. And instead of performing a good exit from his parking spot, he just backed right up into me.
Oh.
And yeah, yeah. So there was a big bang, and he got out, and his wife got out, and his wife was screaming at him, and he's hanging his head, and he's looking at my truck, and he says, "Oh man, I think I destroyed your." Wait, no, only my van is destroyed, and it was. He couldn't even open the back door on his van. It was so messed up, and not a lick of damage done to my truck. And pretty much the exact same thing happened, except I was waiting to turn left, and this was the day before Christmas. I'm going to pick up my sister from work to take her for a Christmas dinner, and this this noise just out of nowhere, this big bang, but I didn't feel anything. There was this huge bang, and I thought, wow, did someone just get into an accident? I don't see anyone. And there are cars coming on oncoming traffic in the right lane, but I didn't see anyone in my lane or on my side of the road. But then I see this little Reliant like creeping along the side of the road, this tiny little brown Reliant, and the quarter panel on the front is ripped right open. It's like someone took a can opener and just opened up the whole side of the car, right? Just peeled it right back like a spiral of metal. And I'm like, oh my god, that guy got into an accident. And I'm still not cluing in that it was me because I didn't feel anything. I heard the bang, but I didn't feel anything. And the guy gets out of his car and he's waving at me. He's trying to get me to come over, and I'm pointing at myself. I'm like, me? You me? And he's like, yeah, yeah, you. So I pull up behind him and I say, buddy, you got into an accident. Who'd you hit? And he says, you. I hit you. I'm like, no way. So I got out, and sure enough, there was some brown paint
Hmm.
on my bumper. A little bit of paint transfer, no damage whatsoever. But his car was just messed right up. And yeah, that's basically the story of this pickup truck. It just got me through so much.
Yes. So there's
Uh,
an emotional connection to this truck.
oh yeah, yeah, I loved that truck right until the day I got rid of it.
When did you get rid of it?
Well, no, it was just time. Got a got a full size pickup truck, got an F-150. So yeah, just trading up.
Yep. Yep. Who did you sell this truck to?
Oh,
And
it
have you
was
seen
just
it since?
I did actually see it once after it was sold. Um, the guy who bought it off me, and I think it was just like um just an advertisement in. I think my dad put up an advertisement for it at a car dealership on like a message board or something like that. I don't know how we used to sell cars back in the day. You didn't have Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace or anything like that back
Yeah.
in the day. So,
You
anyways, my dad found a buyer for it,
get
and I
on the
saw it a
telegraph
couple.
and dot dot
Yeah,
dash dash.
well, it wasn't that long ago, but yeah, um, yeah, I saw it a couple of weeks after it was sold, and the guy who bought it decided to repaint it, and he repainted it with what looked like a paint roller. Yeah, it was the worst paint job I've ever seen.
What color?
Green.
Oh,
Yeah, he changed it from beautiful red to like a, I don't know, like a puke green.
seeing a vehicle that you sold, especially a vehicle like that that's been with you for a while, it's almost like seeing an ex or kind of a different feeling, but you still have that emotional attachment to it. It's always a weird feeling when I see a car that I've sold.
Mm. Well, that truck will live on in my memory, and even to this day, my friends still bring up the times, the crazy times that we had in that truck, going on road trips and going through puddles that were far too deep, spinning donuts.
So what's your dream car then?
Um, that's a good question. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Um, I've I've got to say pickup truck. Any good pickup truck, but it's got to be fast. And you know what? Production pickup trucks are getting faster and faster all the time.
Yep.
So I don't think I'll have um, a lack of choices.
All right. Well, Nathan Mutch, thank you very much for joining us tonight
Well, thanks for having me, Blake.
to tell us about Amos doing donuts and messing up K cars and getting you where you needed to go.
Great. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Best of luck to you and the family and getting your really fast truck.
You bet.
Thank you very much, Nathan Mutch, Much with a T, by the way, for telling us about Amos, the 1980 Dodge D50 pickup that was the scourge of K cars and all sorts of minivans all over Alberta. It sounds like a really tough truck. If you want to check out Nathan's work, he is an author, he is a technical writer and editor. Nathan Mutch with a T.com for his books, nathanmutch.ca for his writing and his editing. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for tuning in for another autobiography podcast, and it's time for another Myth of the Machine. Next on the Autobiography podcast, I've been waiting to talk to him since we started. An old friend, Alberta musician. He's played with so many major Alberta country artists, currently playing with Cole Malone, Jerry Toland.
How's it going?
I'm excited to hear your story because in texting about this, it was coming through how excited you were. So, Jerry, tell us about the vehicle that moved you.
Okay, well, the vehicle that moved me is actually my first vehicle. So, as a young man, I used to build houses with my uncle when I was 16 out in Golden, BC. And, I worked with him all summer and was saving up a bunch of money. I was going to go to Cranbrook to go visit my friends for the weekend because that's where I'm from. And we were driving, and we saw a guy broken down on the side of the road. Not broken down, but out of gas. So we're in my uncle's little pickup truck, and this gentleman is swearing and kicking the truck, and we pull over to help him out, and he's like, "Man, I hate this thing. Do I want to sell it?" And I'm like, "Really? How much do you want? I just got paid. I got a pocket full of money. Hey, cash." So he goes, "Give me $600 and it's yours." And being the salesman and the guy that I am, I'm like, "How about $400?" And he looks at me. He's shaking his head and he's like, "Okay, $400, but you have to give me a ride back to Cranbrook and you don't get the subs." And I'm like, I'm like, I get to keep the subs. And he's like, okay, deal. Give me a ride back to Cranbrook. So, anyways, I buy this truck from him. I'm not exactly legal. I don't even have my license. I live in Calgary, and it didn't stop me from bringing it home. Let's just say that. And maybe a gentleman with a truck of the same look was missing a plate. Right? I was
Um,
young and dumb.
okay. Are you at liberty to tell me about the truck?
About the truck. Yeah, so anyways, I bought a Bronco, a 1981 Ford Bronco.
I'm going to pause for a sec and tell you about the 1981 Ford Bronco, part of a line of sports utility vehicles going back to 1966. Tonight's Bronco was part of the third generation, which ran from 1980 to the 1986 model year. Canceled in 1996, the Bronco was brought back to life for a much celebrated sixth generation in 2021. Through the years, the Bronco was powered by everything from a 400 cubic inch V8 to the 2.3 liter EcoBoost, and the lineup included some special additions, such as the 1970 Bronco Wildflower, featuring a padded plush dash and psychedelic paint scheme of red, yellow, blue with a pink grille.
It's been my dream truck ever since. So with the Bronco, unfortunately, a couple years down the line, um, I was a young man struggling to pay rent and all of these kind of things. And my landlord at the time said, "Hey, I'll let you stay here for like 6 months if you give me the truck." Right.
Yeah.
So being young and desperate, I gave him the truck, signed it over, cried, you know, and nearly, I guess 20 some odd years later, the truck came back to me, and I have it right now, and I'm restoring it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty amazing.
I have to go back over some of these details, Jerry. You've told us a lot tonight.
Yes.
There's a lot to sift through. So you bought this not broken down, but an out of gas Ford Bronco for $400.
$400.
What motor is in that Bronco?
So in that Bronco, um, most of them had a 351M. Mine was actually a 1972 351 Windsor that had aluminum heads and headers on it, and was all done up.
Really?
So it had better than 400 horsepower. I'd put that thing in four-wheel drive and smoke all four tires. And it was such a sleeper because it was brown on brown on brown.
How much did you pay the second time around for the Bronco?
Oh, okay. So the second time around, I paid $500 for it, which was I thought a steal. I mean, it had deteriorated because it sat in my family member's backyard for a lot of years. They held on to it with good intentions, and it actually ended up being the intention was getting it back to me. So
that's awesome.
It's crazy that it's even a thing.
Is it drivable?
Yeah, it's totally drivable. It runs great now. It doesn't leak a drop of oil. I'm getting it ready for paint. Hopefully this summer it'll be done.
Good for you. Good for you. So
Yeah.
altogether, $900 all in.
Well, $900 in to buy it. I mean, now I've in the body work and all the other things that I've been doing to it now. I mean, I've sunk a good $10,000 back into it now.
Now, I have this to ask you as someone who also has a truck in the middle of a restoration, and this truck will also take some bucks to get back up to fighting shape. How do you launder this money past the spouse?
Nice. Well, the thing is I've been a musician for so long, and often get paid in cash, right?
Hey.
So, I mean, I don't want to admit, but there's times that I take it a little extra, and I come home with parts that nobody sees.
They paid me in Bondo, honey. What can I do?
100%. I mean, I wheel and deal, and I do a lot of trading, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of great car friends that help me out a ton.
Yeah.
I'm handy, but I'm not, a mechanic by any means.
Well, save me a spot. I call shotgun.
Nice. I'll have to make a trip out.
I agree. Now, you're a musician, you're a car guy, you like to cruise, you like your stereos, you like all that. Give us a great song for cruising.
Great song for cruising. Well, I don't want to be biased, but right now, my bandmate and myself wrote a song called One Man Army, and it's available everywhere across all digital formats right now. So Cole Malone, One Man Army. It is a cruiser.
Okay. All right. You heard it here. One Man Army by Cole Malone, co-written by Jerry Toland. The Bronco. This is great. I want to go out there and get in trouble and pick up hitchhikers to see what I might buy from them, because it sounds like you've had so much fun. But I thank you for being on the Auto-Biography podcast. And I'm serious. I call shotgun for whenever you do make it up here.
I can't wait to hopefully hit some car shows when that's a thing again, and get that sucker out there and turn some heads.
Wow, an admission of guilt, but he did what had to be done to get the Bronco home. Jerry Toland, thank you very much. And yeah, if you're looking for a great cruising tune this summer, check out Cole Malone, One Man Army, on iTunes or the 8-track. I don't know how you get your music these days. But anyways, thank you for joining us for another Auto-Biography podcast. Check out the social media. Check us out wherever you download your podcasts. Share us, like us, follow us, tell everyone you know about us, and be here next time. I can't wait. Thank you again. Till then, keep your wheels on the road and a tarp on your load.